Okay.
Most dangerous jobs in the military. Number 1. Pararescue. Sometimes called Guardian Angels by other units, the pararescue team is responsible for taking care of their allies on the ground and does it by using planes and helicopters for quick access to the ground.
A pararescueman is basically a technical rescue specialist as well as a combat medic that can either attach to another special operations team or work in conjunction with other pararescuemen. Sometimes you're going to be working with civilian personnel or other agencies too.
Pararescue jumpers are able to utilize both aircraft landings and parachute jumps to reach a target location and provide valuable aid to injured, outnumbered, or stranded troops. Pararescue members are typically trained in rock climbing, abseiling, diving, and Arctic conditioning. Simply put, the pararescue team is designed to support troops on the ground regardless of their position.
Patient 1, IED blast, laceration, possible eye, sight. Patient 2, IED blast, leg amputation.
As well as in combat situations, the pararescue team can also be found in disaster zones and catastrophic weather areas, providing medical care and support for the wounded.
There's people screaming, they want your help, but you need to make sure the team's all on the same page.
While parachuting out of a plane isn't for everyone, jumping out of a plane isn't actually close to the most dangerous aspect of the job. The real danger begins as the team approaches the ground, either on board an aircraft or via parachute. Pararescue teams will often be dropped into hot conflict zones where fighting is still going on. This often means that the chances of being hit on the way down is high. As well as this, a number of unavoidable things can go wrong. Sudden changes in wind or weather may affect your landing spot, placing you in dangerous territory. To put it simply, pararescue troopers have to take extreme risks just to get their target location before they even begin their actual job of saving lives on the ground.
When your body gets that sleep deprived and tired, you just get to that point of, okay, I'm doing this. I don't know how.
Number 2, bomb squad.
They got a bomb squad guy in a suit. That's got to be hot. Burbank Police Department got a call of an unknown or unidentified package inside of a house here. They called the LA County Sheriff's Bomb Squad. They are on scene right now.
We've all seen the famous movie scenes where a member of the bomb squad can't decide which wire to cut as the clock ticks down. But what is the reality of life in a bomb disposal unit? Is the job really this dangerous? And do they really have to pick a wire to cut? Traditionally, bomb disposal units spent most of their time on the battlefield, clearing minefields and dealing with unexploded bombs and artillery shells. In recent decades, however, this has changed, with an increase in the use of improvised explosive devices. The important thing about these devices compared to official military explosives is that they've been put together by amateurs. They lack the standardization and regulation of regular military explosives. This can mean that the devices can be even more dangerous to deal with. Bomb makers will also try their best to play tricks on disposal experts, studying their methods to identify potential weaknesses. Unlike in the movies, the most valuable tool in the bomb squad's arsenal isn't a pair of wire cutters. Instead, bomb squads utilize devices such as projected water disruptors, bomb containment vessels, and remote-controlled vehicles to safely disarm bombs.
The wheelbarrow remote control vehicle, or RCV, fires a weapon to deal with a suspicious package. Inside, a pipe bomb that poses a real threat to life.
Remote-controlled vehicles, often called wheelbarrows, are especially useful in lowering risk of injury or death for bomb disposal units. They can be equipped with weapons that destroy or disrupt the circuitry of an explosive faster than it can detonate. Despite the incredible new technology available to bomb disposal units around the world, human error, faulty equipment, and incorrect information can lead to catastrophe. The risk of a tiny error having devastating consequences creates an incredibly high level of stress for those involved with bomb disposal, and many suffer from burnout and other mental struggles. Overall, regardless of improving technology, the role remains one of the most dangerous available to military personnel. Number 3, artillery. You might think that sitting behind the front line may be one of the safest jobs in the military, but you'd be very wrong.
Load it! Charge to Lima! Charge to Lima! Load it up! Stand by! Fire!
decades, long-distance artillery has been one of the keys to dominating a battlefield. Artillery is capable of destroying enemy formations and demoralizing those who survive. For this reason, artillery positions are a prime target for enemy airstrikes and returning artillery fire. It's important to realize that while an artillery unit is calculating and delivering its barges onto enemy positions, the enemy is typically doing the exact same thing. Gun crews and their supplies are very important assets for units on the ground, and as such, the job is made considerably more dangerous. Throughout history, cavalry, paratroopers, and airstrikes have been used to great effect to eliminate enemy artillery positions on the battlefield.
That shell weighs 53 kilos, just shy of 8.5 stone, and this gun can propel it over 10 miles.
As well as their key role in raining artillery shells down onto enemy positions, artillery units may also be required to assume other infantry roles when required. Working with artillery is also dangerous due to the nature of working with heavy machinery and explosives. Artillery guns, more unpredictably on recoil, damage your eardrums and can sometimes explode or even crush you to death. Ultimately, however, it is the usefulness and deadliness of long-distance artillery fire that makes these units such important targets for the enemy, and therefore one of the most dangerous jobs in the military. Number 4. Special Forces. The next group on our list may seem like a bit of a generalization, but it would be silly to create a list like this and not include the Special Forces. Around the world, each nation has a slightly different version of an elite Special Forces squadron.
Gunshots rang out across the capital of Khartoum and heavy smoke billowed into the sky. According to CNN, the U.S. Embassy successfully evacuated everyone tonight and closed its doors.
The most famous Special Forces units around the world include the UK's SAS and America's Navy SEALs, but others around the world are equally as skilled and carry out roles that are potentially even more dangerous. Such examples include Israel's Sayeret Matkal, an extremely secretive unit that is primarily involved in conducting deep reconnaissance missions to obtain strategic intelligence. As well as this role, however, the unit has been known to carry out missions involving search and rescue, counterterrorism manhunts, and assassinations. India's Marine Commandos, also known as the Marcos, are also considered one of the world's most elite, capable of operating at sea, in air, and on land. Known for their professionalism and effectiveness, the unit has been involved in operations in some of the most hostile areas on Earth, capturing pirates, fighting terrorists, and carrying out rescue missions such as the 2015 evacuations of thousands of civilians from war-torn Yemen. The GIGN, a French elite police tactical unit, carried out the famous raid on Air France Flight 8969 in 1994, potentially saving 200 lives and eliminating all 4 terrorists.
The door opens, the air stair touches the plane, and the group goes in.
Other famous missions include the Navy's successful assassination of Osama bin Laden in 2011 and the SAS's raid on the Iranian embassy in 1980.
An 8-man team entered the building, which had been secretly bugged during the siege. Army aircraft flying low over the Knightsbridge Street to drown out the sounds of their preparations.
To go into the sheer number of dangers faced by special forces in the line of duty would take far too long. But it's worth pointing out that even the training for these elite units can be extremely dangerous. A soldier dies every 2 years on average during the SAS mountain tests in Wales. 11 men have also died during the Navy SEALs training since 1953, including one as recently as 2022.
Forces selection will break more than 90% of them.
On my course, there was 160 of us started, and most of those guys were from top regiments like the Royal Marines. Only 9 of us passed.
Number 5. Pilot. The world's first motor-operated airplane was invented by the Wright brothers in 1903. By the First World War, the first full military aircraft were already being used in warfare. Being a pilot back then was one of the most dangerous military roles you could have, with the chances of being killed in training being high before you even saw proper action.
I think we'd all be intrigued to know why you called the 20-minuters.
Oh, Mr. Thicker, imagine not knowing that.
Well, it's simple. The average life expectancy for a new pilot is 20 minutes.
Aviation technology was still very new, and things were being learned and improvised as the war went on. Nowadays, military aircraft are highly complex, super advanced technical marvels capable of traveling faster than the speed of sound. These technological improvements have made the Air Force pivotal to modern warfare, but have also increased the expertise required to be a pilot.
There's no second place when you go to war with people, right? There's no second place when you merge with an adversary aircraft. It's him or you. So by default, you win. And if you can't win, then this isn't the job for you.
The potential for things to go wrong when dealing with such complex machines is undeniably high, as well as the obvious risk of anti-aircraft missiles and enemy fighters shooting you down. Pilots run the risk of crashing, complications caused by bad weather, and numerous other dangers. Some of the advanced weaponry on the battlefield is used to target pilots, including deadly surface-to-air missiles that caused the U.S. Air Force serious problems in the Gulf War.
Stroke 3, brake right, brake right. He instinctively obeys just as 3 SA-3s flash by dangerously close on his left side and explode.
Some of the most dangerous roles carried out by military pilots are those conducted at a low level. For example, troop-carrying helicopters are more likely to collide with birds or drones, causing potentially devastating complications. Moreover, infantry from the ground can engage much more easily with these slower-moving aircraft. Unlike jet fighters, these kinds of aircrafts operate in unprepared sites, often landing in challenging and unpredictable environments. These factors make being a pilot one of the most dangerous roles in the military.
When fighter pilots aren't in combat, we're training to be in combat. So every day that we go out and fly, we have that mentality of how are we going to prepare for combat. And we put ourselves in that mindset in the hopes that we'll fight like we train.
Thanks for watching this episode of History 101. Are there any we missed that you think are more dangerous? Let us know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe for more.